Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Rise Urban Nation. I'm your host, Taryell Simmons, and we got a special guest in the building today. I'm so excited for you to meet this sister. Me and her, where did we connect? We connected on Instagram. Is that correct? Is that how we connected?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, on
on
IG.
IG. And let me tell you, for those who say that connecting with people on Instagram doesn't work, here's living proof that it works. She got into the DMs. We had a great conversation, and we were trying to figure out ways to do business together. And now look at us. We're doing a podcast together, and she's going to tell you about her fabulous self in a second. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Joly to the podcast. Did I say that right? Joly?
Absolutely. Yeah. Pronunciation is scripts. Yeah, that's how you say it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me, Taryell. It's a pleasure to be on your podcast. So thank you so much for inviting me.
No problem. It's a pleasure to have you. So now for the people who don't know who you are, I always ask this very profound question in the beginning of our podcast, and that is, who are
Mhm.
you? And you could take that as far and as deep and as wide as you want, but who is Joly?
Okay. Well, Joly is a young woman. I'm based in Frankfurt, Germany. And I have a background. I was born in Cameroon, raised there, then moved to Italy where I studied after high school. So I studied in Italy, then in Germany. And I've worked in the corporate world for about 3 years and a half before diving into entrepreneurship because I just felt like I wanted more. I wanted to do more, to give more, and to just also make more. And so for me, it was a huge transition because I grew up believing that my end goal was to, be in the corporate world, climb the corporate ladder, and, just be there until I retire. But then I just had that feeling of like I need to shift and do something different 3 years into the corporate my corporate journey, and I decided to shift into become an entrepreneur. And so I've been in entrepreneurship since 2019 full time. Currently have a marketing agency where we serve people and we help them, grow and scale their visibility and their revenue using social media ads. So that's about it. Like what I like to do for fun. I like to work out, I like to read, and I like to travel. Very basic stuff.
Love it.
But yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Yeah, and I'm based in Frankfurt, Germany. Yeah.
I didn't know you were based in Germany. How did I not know that? Guten Tag.
Yeah, I'm based in Guten Abend, yeah, Guten Tag. Yeah, I'm based in Germany. Yeah. Do you speak a bit of German, Taryell?
Well, I don't speak. That's all I can.
Have you
All I
learned?
know as far as German. So you will have to teach me the rest.
Okay.
So
Okay, no
wait,
worries. Up for that
how
for
long have you
sure.
been
Yeah.
in Germany now? And how has the experience been like from you coming from it's Cameroon, right, to Germany? Was there a
Yeah.
bit of culture
Yeah.
shock? What was the difference like between the two worlds?
So from Cameroon, I initially went to Italy where I did my undergrad study, and then from Italy to Germany. And yeah, there was not a lot of cultural shock because I was in Italy for 4 years before moving into Germany.
Mm,
But yeah, what I like about Germany is that they are, I'm living in Frankfurt, so it's a really exciting and gorgeous city that never sleeps, literally. So there's a lot to do, and people are also very open-minded. So
mm.
you can whether you speak German fluently or not, you are welcome, and it's a good place to be in. So I love so far. I love being here. I've been here for the past 3 years.
Mm.
So yeah, so far I love it.
You hear that, Rise Urban Nation? We got
Highly
folks out in
recommend.
Germany. There's even Black and Africans out in Germany too. There's not a place that we have not been. I love it. I love it.
Absolutely.
So let's dive into a little bit of you. I mean, you started your corporate career. Now tell me, what was your corporate career in? What did you do your studies in, and what did you end up doing your corporate career in?
Yeah, I was a data scientist, so I studied actuarial sciences and data science. So I ended up working as a credit analyst first, and then change career from credit analyst. I became a data scientist, and so that's what I did for 1 year as a credit analyst, and then 2 years as a data scientist before
Mm,
shifting into yeah.
yeah. Now I feel like you could correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like that's a big shift from going to that to entrepreneurship and then marketing at that. How did you come to the decision of switching from that career to marketing? What was, give me the process of that. What did that look like? And how did you go into specifically the career that you're in now?
Yeah, so absolutely. I mean, if you had told me like 4 or 5 years ago that I would be in marketing, I wouldn't have believed it, because economics, finance, data science is really, that's nothing to do with marketing. But as I was working, I, I've been in situation like my first job, for instance, I had an amazing relationship with my boss. I really saw him as my second father, right?
Mhm.
And we had that season in the company where he was struggling to keep on selling the product, right? So we had a huge decline in terms of cash flow. And I remember just feeling like, oh my God, I wish I had the skill set to help him actually, make the company move forward. But then I was in finance and in data science, I couldn't really help. And I also had my father, like when I was younger, he lost his company because he was not able to get client after 7 years, trying to make it work. He finally just gave up. So I just felt like, and also looking at my friends launching their business
Mhm.
and struggling to make it, to make it work, because they were just not able, even though they have great product or great services, they were not able to get clients through the door. So they ultimately, most of them had to, either go back to their corporate job or just, give up on the idea of being an entrepreneur. I just feel like the skill set that will allow me, it's not only to, because, marketing is a high income skill set. People are always going to, a company or business are always going to need clients. So I feel like it was really a right mixture between something that was in need and something that I saw people that I really care about struggle with. And that realization really compelled me to say, you know what, I'm going to study this and I'm going to be good at it. But when I started, actually, I didn't start with the agency. I started with affiliate marketing first,
Mhm.
because I was looking to make money on the side, beside my business, my corporate income. So I started with affiliate marketing, and as an affiliate marketer, I learned, copywriting, ads,
Mm.
and all the basic skill sets. And so as I grew, in that field, I also grew with the skill set. And then at some point I realized, okay, you know what, why am I, I have already the skill set. Why don't I start working with clients
Mhm.
as a consultant, as a freelancer, helping them, actually get those clients instead of just helping this one company sell their products, right?
Yeah.
So that's how after 1 year of being affiliate marketer, I decided to just shift
Mhm.
and start working as a freelancer for a couple of months, and then shift to the agency model. So it's been really a step by step journey,
Mhm.
and I'm still learning and discovering and what I want to do next. But so far, I'm just, and what I've studied, like, because I'm really analytical driven, because of my study, math, data science, and stuff. That really helps me with the marketing as well, because I feel like marketing ultimately it's math plus psychology. So
Mm.
if you're able to look at data and understand what's working and why it's not working, make really data driven decision, and you understand what make people tick and what make them buy. When you combine those two skill sets, it really allow you to be a good marketer. So it's, even though it's not related, it's what I've learned kind of helped me in terms of how I think and how I make decisions when it comes to running campaigns and optimizing my clients
Yeah.
ads. Yeah.
You know what? That just kind of makes you like the perfect candidate for it. I never really understood or until now, until you explained it to me, knew that there's a math component to marketing. Um, break
Yeah.
down the math component to marketing, because I'm curious, like, what does that look like? How do you use math to really make marketing work?
Mm, okay, good one. So if you like, whether you're looking at the organic marketing or the paid marketing, in order to understand if what you're doing is working, you need to look at your numbers and see, okay, how many people have, let's say that you're, for instance, having an organic strategy, right? You want to ask yourself how many people have engaged, like, commented, share.
Mm.
How has our engagement been like since we've implemented this new strategy, right?
Mhm.
So if you're not able to look at data to inform your decision in terms of, okay, let's implement this type of post for the next 4 weeks or for the next 2 weeks, and let's look at how our customer respond.
Mhm.
Let's look at if our email is growing, if people are converting. So you need to look at those things, because otherwise you're just going to be throwing stuff at the wall, not understanding
Yeah.
what's working and what's not. And for the paid side of things, also the same. I see so many business owners just running ads and not look at, they just make decision based on the emotion, and they're like, I don't like this landing page,
Mm.
I don't like this thing. And I'm always like, what's the number? What are the number behind? How is the conversion? How long have you been running the ads? So I think looking at data and be like, okay, what is how it's performing? Let's change one thing and let's see how the numbers looks like now. Is this working or is it not?
Mhm.
And like, be able to track those KPI in a very using a proven framework, it's critical actually to
Mhm.
to consistently grow and to consistently improve what you're doing. Because if you're not, you might have an amazing strategy that's working, but since you don't know which data to look at and actually even how to analyze your data, you might just think it's not working. Which something I usually see when I speak with clients. I'm like, what you had was kind of working, or you should have stopped it earlier if you knew if you had a better way of looking at data. So I think having that, be able to analyze data and draw insight from the data is really key when you're looking to grow, whether with organic marketing or with the paid side of things. Yeah.
Nice. I love that. I love the way you broke that down. Now, is there like a perfect like mathematical equation that you must use to increase engagement? Like, we have KPIs, right? I don't know if it's like post this type of thing 3 times a week that helps you gain this. Is there like a perfect mathematical equation out there that helps you do that, or it's all about testing and then
Yeah.
relooking at it?
Yeah, I think with marketing, until you find something that's working for you, it's all about testing, and that's why we have 3 phases. We have the launch phase, the test phase, and the scaling phase. So the
Mhm.
launch phase are like looking at doing the market research, looking at what's working in your industry, how you can
Mhm.
improve. How you can improve on what's there, because I usually say that if your content or if your ads are not as you're not resonating, it's because you haven't really tapped into your customer desire and needs, and you haven't really uncovered how to speak with them in a way that makes them tick. So that's the launch phase, really understanding who you're speaking with and what's going to make them respond, and what makes your offer unique and different enough to get them to want to do business with you, make them to want to follow you, right? And then once you've done that
Mhm.
research, and prepare your launching as if you want to test, and where you just like, okay, let's try different type of creative, like carousel, video, single post, inspiration quote. Let's throw a bunch of things at the wall based on what we've
Mhm.
seen work in the past for our competitor and what our client need, respond to the best, and let's look at what's working the best and what hasn't hit. And based on the result of the testing phase, you then go on the scaling phase, where you can then say, okay, this is what we've seen work consistently the best with our audience. Let's do more of that,
Mhm.
and less of this thing. So there's not a really like a I think it's going to be different for every single business and depending on the industry, and that's why ultimately it's all about you need to be willing to do a lot of tests and to understand what's working and not because your audience is also evolving. What's going to work this year might not work next year, and so be willing
Mm.
to be a constant student and learner and being obsessed with serving your client at the highest level. I say that's the formula to make that's the
I
formula
love
to
that
make your
formula.
marketing work in the best way.
Now, when you're in
Yeah.
that launch phase, like, what do you specifically like to look at to know that the launch phase is working well? Do you look at like um, how many people engage with the post or how many people sign up? What is the metric that you like to look at?
Mm. I like to look at engagement the most, and by engagement I mean shares, comment, right?
Hmm.
Because like are not that don't have that many weight, and engagement, share, but also email subscriber. Because I feel like if you are having an organic marketing strategy, you need to have a way to get those people somewhere else rather than just stay on the
Hmm.
platform, because you never know what's going to happen with TikTok or Instagram or Facebook. So definitely we want to have a conversion mechanism that your content draw people to, and get them into a more intimate space where you can actually convert them and actually nurture them
Hmm.
in a better way.
Hmm.
I like to look at those 3 KPIs, like engagement, share, save, and also email subscriber. And if you're selling something on the front end, how many people are buying, because you
Hmm.
can get people to buy from your organic content as well, or via your ads. So
Yeah.
those are the 4 things
Nice, nice.
that I'll be paying
Now, I
attention
noticed that you
paying
said
attention
email,
to.
and that there's some people that I don't believe that email is dead, but I like email. I feel like email is very much alive, and that's where you can really get the true value once you get them onto your email list and really engage and take them through a customer journey, and you get a whole bunch of data and numbers to help you understand what you know your customer likes, their what they're engaging with, what they need more of. I don't know. What's your take on email?
Mhm. Yeah, I think email it's an amazing way to actually increase conversion, because when I think of a marketing funnel, right? You have the top of the funnel, you have the middle, and you have the bottom of the funnel. And your
Hmm.
organic content is great because it's like it allows you to draw people in and get them to
Hmm.
discover you and get them to know who you are, and how and but you build trust in the email marketing usually, because that's where you are able to give them more value, you're able to nurture them, and get them you know don't convert them in from following to raving fans, because if when you are posting on social media, usually not all your followers see your content, so there's always a disparity between your follower count and your engagement, or your like, or your save. But when you're sending emails, if you do things properly, you might get 50% of people actually opening your email and reading your message, which is huge compared to 1 or 2% that you usually get on social media, right? So you literally go from 2% or 3% visibility on your stuff to a 50 or 60% with emails, simply because you have them in a more you have them in an ecosystem that's designed by you. And also, when it comes to conversion with email, you're able to sell in a way that feels genuine and authentic. On social media, it's usually some people feel it, they think it's a bit, salesy to sell on social media, or they have some specific, they don't like it, usually. But with email, you're able to create like a sequence of
Mm-hmm.
emails that makes sense, because you say, okay, if someone has seen this email, of course they are already prime, and they're more likely to receive the next email. So you can really have them in a sequence that's designed to convert. On social media, you cannot be like, okay, I want them to see this post and then to see this one, because you have no control in terms of how delivery goes on to your
Mm-hmm.
prospect. Someone might miss your post on Monday and see the
Mm-hmm.
post that you have on Thursday. So, and for our client, we literally see them get anywhere from 25 to 35% of the revenue stream coming from email,
Mm-hmm.
which is huge when you think about it, because that's like a third of the business that's relying on email, because that's really solid. And it's here to stay. People are always going to have an email address. They're always going to be checking the email. Social media is great, but it's actually platform dependent. Some people are going to be on Facebook, some
Mm-hmm.
are going to be like on TikTok, or they are going to be on IG. So there's no so with email, you have them all in one place, and you're able to speak with them in a way that
Mm-hmm.
compels them to want to do business with you. So
Yeah.
I love email marketing. Yeah.
Yeah, I could tell. I could tell. And
I think
I love it
it's an
too.
amazing
So I don't.
vehicle. Yeah.
To all those people that said email is dead, look, I was telling you, but I'm not the marketing whiz. The marketing whiz is telling you that email is not dead. It is still alive, and it's a very useful tool. So thank you for clearing up that argument for me, because I wasn't the professional on it. So people can't believe me. I'm just going off my own experience. um
Yeah, we've seen it across dozens of clients. Yeah, it still works. Yeah.
yeah, it still works. Email still works. Now, I
Yeah.
want to go back through your journey, because uh, I think your journey is just amazing. Because I'm still thinking about like how you just made that
Oh,
transition,
thank you.
and how successful you were in it. And like when you look back at it, if you had a chance to start your career over again, um,
Mhm.
what would you do differently?
Oh, oh, that's a good one. Oh, mm. I think I will be more courageous sooner. I think I had, since I come from a very different background from what I'm currently doing, I had
Hmm.
literally probably anywhere from 6 to 8 months, where I was deep into imposter syndrome. I wouldn't tell people what I was doing
Mm,
online. I was just trying to make it work, but not fully embodying that identity of like, I'm a marketing strategist now. So for me it really took a while for me to be like, you know what, this is what I'm going to do for the next 10, 20 years. So I'm
hmm.
just going to embody it and go all in, because when you have that imposter syndrome, it also allows you, like, you also take decision from a place of scarcity and from a
Yeah.
place of doubt,
Hmm.
and because you're always second guessing yourself, right? And the sooner you are like, okay, you know what, this is what I'm going to do, regardless, so I might as well fail sooner, learn faster, and become great at my craft. At my
Hmm.
craft, the better you are, the better you succeed ultimately. So for me, if I were to go back, I would tell my younger self, go all in, because there's it's going to pay off, and
Yeah.
don't it doesn't matter what people think. It doesn't matter that you've changed from what you, because I think one of the biggest hurdle when you come from a background that's completely different from what you do as an entrepreneur is you
Hmm.
always think, okay, what my friend are going to say, what my family is going to say, and is it going to work out? Am I crazy to leave my 6-figure job to pursue this freelancing thing? So all of those fears and all of those doubts are there, and they stop me for a while. So I will definitely kick that imposter syndrome faster, and get into action and decision mode way sooner, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Go all in. I think um you're not the only one that, like, I was at a symposium not too long ago where there's a lot of entrepreneurs that had imposter syndrome and things of that nature, and we were talking about like how Sometimes, especially if when you're growing up, and how people say, well, make sure you have your plan B, and then so we go in with the mindset of having the plan B, and the most successful
Yeah.
entrepreneurs don't have a plan B. They like, there's no plan B. This is just plan A, and then we have to adjust plan A if
Yeah.
if it's not working the way that it's working, and then that's how they became successful. And so it's really hard to change that mindset to like, this is plan A. There's no other plan. We will make adjustments along the way, when we learn, fail, and retry, so that plan A can be successful.
Hmm.
And
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
think that's the
That's
hardest shift. When you think about your journey, like what deserves all your attention but seldom gets it?
what deserves all my attention but seldom gets it. You mean in terms of
Yeah.
activities in the business or?
Just anything. Just anything. It could be something in your personal life, it could be something in your career. What deserves all your attention but seldom gets it?
Mm, that's a deep one. Um,
Mhm.
Okay, I think in the business side of things, in the business side, I would say promoting my own brand. I think for the longest time, again, I was really focusing on helping our client grow, and I completely forgot about building a personal brand. And I think we live in a day and age where if you're not visible online, you don't really exist, because people are,
Mm,
in 10 years from now, people are going to be able. People need to be able to see you. So even though so I think creating content and promoting, pushing the brand out there it's something that definitely deserves my attention, that I haven't prioritized over the past few years, and I'm trying now just to start pushing more content out.
I'm
And so
rooting
that's
for
on the
you.
business side of things. On the personal side of things, thank you. And so on the personal side of things, I think family. I had to, when I started, I had to have some weeks and months where I was just like all in. Be like, okay, let me figure this thing out before I
Hmm.
because when you embark on a journey, what without knowing what the outcome is going to be.
Hmm.
Of course, there's a lot of fears of insecurity, and you definitely want
Mm,
to make them proud. And sometimes making them proud means that you need to go out, you need to isolate yourself and just put your head down, put the blinds on and be really focused.
hmm.
So I would say for the first year in business, I definitely neglected my family because I was not, like, no traveling, let me be in my zone, let me do the thing.
Hmm.
And it paid off, but that wasn't me, because I didn't see my cousin growing, and I was like, man, they're already working and stuff. So that's something which I miss. So I haven't
Yeah.
completely, they haven't gotten my attention, but I guess it was for the right reason. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's so true, because I
that's
think people
the
often
family is definitely for me
glamorize
number one.
entrepreneurship, and they only see the beauty side of it, that sometimes is showed on social media, but
Yeah.
they don't see like the other side, the things that sometimes we have to miss out on birthdays, or we miss out on special events because we're in
Yeah.
the growth season, or in the grind of making sure this thing works, right? So that we can eventually, once it gets to the level of success and sustainability, we can then have the flexibility to do more of those things that we enjoy. And so thank you for like being honest about that
Absolutely.
with us and sharing that side. Now, when you look at your company, something that you talked about earlier is like the from the marketing phase of distinguishing yourself from, other individuals when you're marketing. How do you distinguish yourself from your competitors?
Mm. Well, I think what we do different at Drogon is that we look at the entire customer journey, right? And we look at the entire customer journey, and we build advertising solution that's designed to help our client maximize the entire process.
Hmm.
One of the biggest gap which I see currently on the marketplace, that people, when they create ads, a campaign or ad strategy, they really focus on the ads alone, and they expect the ads to do the heavy lifting. So the ad is supposed to get the leads, get the sale, the conversion. But what happens is that most usually you get most of your conversion on the back end. So you need to look at, okay, how's the offer first of all? Like, if the offer is not compelling enough, no one's going to respond to the ad. So this work that has to be done before you even launch the ads,
Hmm.
to make sure that the ad themselves are going to be successful. So we look at that first phase, and then we also look at what's happened on afterwards. Like, when some people click on your ads, what do they see, on your landing page? Is the landing page design in a way that's designed to maximize conversion? And once they join your email list, what's happened? Do you have a dynamic email follow-up that goes out to make sure that people have joined, or even people have browsed your site, maybe they've added to cart but they haven't actually checked out. We have a targeting strategy to make sure that we actually convert those guys into client. And I think that's looking at this entire customer journey rather than just focusing on one step, because to make a campaign successful, it really takes you're taking someone in a journey from a stranger to a buyer, right? So you cannot just focus on one specific thing and make it. So what we do with our client, we advise them, even though we focus primarily on the ads, we help them build and scale those ads a campaign. We advise them on the entire process. So we look at their offer, we help them make their offer more irresistible, and we also help them build, some backend sequences that are designed to increase conversion on the long run, based on what offer they have. Of course, yeah. So that's what makes us different, I would say.
I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. It's like a holistic way of just looking at the whole campaign, and then I think, yeah, that's something that I that's definitely different that I don't see a lot of agencies do. So, like, there you have it. You have really found a model I think that works for you, and I think a lot of people hearing this, they're probably some people probably might be scared and knocking in their boots right now. They might have to switch up their models so they can just level up, so they can stay in competition with you.
Yeah, I think it's important to, in order to maximize the client, the client lifetime value, it's important to look at the entire customer journey and not just focus on one thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that definitely,
for
definitely.
sure.
Now, speaking of fear, what is your greatest fear, and how do you manage fear?
Mm. Oh wow, a very deep question. My greatest fear, I think my greatest fear is not really achieving my greatest potential. Like I feel like I'm like at like 1% of what I could give. I'm a huge fan of Bob Proctor, the late Bob,
Mm-hmm.
and he always said like what you us human beings are capable of doing is amazing, and a lot we are living below. Most of us are living below 10% of our human potential. So for me, the biggest fear is not looking back like 50 years from now
Yeah.
or 40 years from now and be like, wow, I wish I did that thing, or I wish I had done that, because that's my biggest fear. I want to really go as far as I can possibly go and try different things and explore and just challenge myself as much as I can. And how I overcome fear, it's just by taking action, to be honest, because usually fear comes from a place of not being sure what's going to happen. And I've just, over the past few years, I've realized that you never know what's going to happen
Mm-hmm.
anyway. And just because you don't know what's going to happen doesn't mean that you shouldn't take any action, because the worst thing that you could do is just be still, stay still, because nothing is still. You're either growing or you're declining.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just challenging myself to to keep on moving and to be in to just be in moving it, because when you stay stuck and you're like, I don't know how to do it, or I don't know if it's going to work, or I'm not sure it's going to work, it's just better to try. And because you're going to get feedback, and based on the feedback, you're going to know what was the best way to go about doing that thing in the first place. So that's how I overcome fear, just by doing and not overthinking too much. Just I have like reminders on my laptop and on my desk, be like, just focus, get it done, move forward, because that's for me the best way to handle fear. That's what has worked for me so far. Yeah.
Nice. Love that. Love that. Um, Now, looking at a typical day for you, can you describe or outline your typical day?
Yeah, so my typical day usually start around 6, half past 6. I'm trying to wake up early, but it's still a challenge. So I wake up, I meditate. Sometimes I walk out. I try to work out at least 3 to 5 times a week. So the morning, which I do, I work out right after meditating. Then, just probably read, or I'm going to listen to an audiobook, and then I just get right into work. That's I'm trying. I'm trying to shorten the distance it takes between when I wake up and when I start to work.
Mm-hmm.
So I get right into it. I work usually from 9 to 12, where I have the first team meeting with the team. And then from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. is my break, either, working, listening to a podcast, having lunch. And then and that's usually also sometimes where I also have my sales call from 12 to 3. That's, where I'm in social mode, posting on social media and all the stuff. And then from 5 to 6, usually I like to again take another block of deep work and start moving things forward. And then from 6 to usually 8, 9, again, I'm creating content, whether that's on TikTok, IG, and or having just client calls. So
Mm-hmm.
that's usually how my day works. So I like to stop at around 9
Mm-hmm.
usually, and then yeah, that's how I start. I just unwind, dinner, books, and then or watch a TV show, and then I'm off to bed. Yeah, so that's the
Nice.
typical journey.
I love that you start off
Typically
with
a
working
day.
out. You're inspiring me because I want to get working out into my routine, and I'm having the hardest time getting
Yeah,
back to maintain my health and shape. What's your secret to success
yeah.
and staying, in that morning workout routine? Is that something that you've just always been great at, or was there something that you've done to make that part of your regular routine?
Mm. I, I haven't always worked out, not consistently at least, but I just feel like when I do,
Uh-huh.
I feel amazing. I have just an increase in energy.
Hmm.
I'm more positive. I am more focused as well. So it just makes me it's just like a must for me, because now it's just the benefit is so amazing
Yeah.
on myself. Of course, I sometimes have to push myself to get it done,
Uh-huh.
but I will just either put an audiobook on, put some good music on to just pump me up and get me to on the treadmill. But whenever I'm done, like, and it's usually I usually like to say, okay, let's start with the 10-minute workout, because 10 minutes is like it's going to go by anyway. It's like
Yeah.
it's 3 songs, so I'm just going to let's start with 10 minutes because it's really short, and then I'm usually do 20 to 30 minutes. So keeping them short
Hmm.
and having something that you will do anyway on the background, whether that's listening to a course or listening to an audiobook
Hmm.
or listening to some dope song,
Yeah.
it's usually put me in a mood to make it happen. And whenever I'm done, I just feel like I can accomplish anything. Once you're done with the tough workout, you're just like, wow, I'm so strong. I can do anything.
I'm
I'm ready to
Superwoman
size the
now.
day.
I
So
could I
that's
could take over the
yeah,
world.
yeah. Where nothing can bring me down. That's the so that feeling is what that just what makes me do it consistently. And also looking at my body getting stronger and fitter.
Like,
It's great. So
it's
that's what keeps me
inspiration and
going.
motivation to keep going.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
What's the
absolutely.
smartest investment you've ever made?
I think investing in myself
Mhm.
right away, like investing in coaches, mentorship, mastermind, because you don't know what you don't know that you don't know. And when you are in expert space, you are paid for your insights, and you are paid for the faster you're able to help someone go from where they are to where they want to be, the more valuable you are. And so for me, I take investing in myself very seriously. And so I think that would be definitely the smartest thing I've ever done, because it always produces tenfold whenever I'm investing in myself. Yeah, in whichever capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who do you look to for advice or mentorship? Because I feel like you're so well grounded and put together, and you have all this knowledge. So who do you look to for advice or mentorship?
Yeah, I look for, I don't know who said that, but I think someone said that the smartest people like stand in the shoulder of giants, and that's what allowed them to move forward faster. So I really look at the giant in my industry, people like Jabaram,
Hmm.
Dan Locke has been my mentor for a while, Brian Tracy. So in whatever, so let's say I'm looking to get to become better at selling, for instance. I'm going to look at the best in my field, or someone that I actually look up to,
Hmm.
and I'm just going to, whether that's through their books, their podcasts, even if they have a course or a mentorship program, I'm definitely going to buy it. And just because I think proximity is power,
Hmm.
and I think we are ultimately. I think I've read somewhere that our success or failure is impacted by 90% by people that we have around us. So 90% of our success is determined by people that we have around. So I make sure that my circle of people that are 10 steps ahead of me, and that are going to challenge me in different ways to show up in a better way, show up in a stronger way, because that's, you need to see people that have done, because I feel like I haven't really tapped into my full potential. And so when I see someone that's doing better than me, like by a huge amount, I like to be around them, because I know I'm
Hmm.
going to learn from them. They have some habits, uh, they have some character traits, they have some skill set, they have some belief that I might not have, and that could be stopping me from getting where I want to be. So I'm always looking to close that gap by surrounding myself with people that are 10 steps ahead of me, and just learning and soaking all of their knowledge, and
Nice. I love
so
that.
that's how I learn.
So and that's when you have that type of group of people around you, it really does push. It motivates you. It helps you see things through different lens. So, it sounds like you have a
Yeah.
great group of people just around you that help elevate you in many different ways, whether it be through just inspiration, proximity, and so forth. I'm curious, like when you picked out your team, was it kind of the same process, or how did you build your team?
I built my team really out of. I just got to a place where I was completely burned out
Hmm.
by with client work, and I couldn't take any more clients. And I was like, you know what, I want to scale this business to, I want to scale it to the moon. And I was like, and I was speaking with the mentor. He was like, you cannot do it alone. Nothing that was ever achieved. That was what was done alone. So you need a team. And so for me, the team hiring part, because I had to work on my leadership skills as well and on my communication skills, and how to influence and get people to how to influence and motivate people to to do the job. And so it was really rough. I had to hire and go through the trial and error finding the right candidate, because when you hire someone, you never know if it's going to work out.
Hmm.
And so it was really trial and error and just looking at, okay, let me do the interview, let me see if we resonate in terms of chemistry and stuff, and then let's judge them, because I feel like you need to hire based on behavior, and then
Hmm.
train for the skill set. So I'm always willing to hire someone even if they don't have like all the skill set that I need, because I feel like if they are on the human side of like, if we have that good connection and they're willing to learn, and they're coachable, like they can learn anything, right? So
Hmm.
for me, that's the biggest thing, like the chemistry that I have with my team members, because that's what allows us to work like a family.
Hmm.
Because I feel like work is, we spend so much time at work, we need to like each other, and we need to be able to laugh and have those jokes after meetings or during
Yeah.
meetings. So for me, that's key. And so I'm really grateful to be in a place where I have a team of A players that allow me to, that we share the same mission, and we are able to move the business forward. That's been one of the biggest challenge of 2022, and I'm so happy that I've been able to. So far, it's going amazingly well, and I'm really happy with
Hmm.
that our team
That
effort. Yeah.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Yes, chemistry is important when you spend that much time with people and folks. So, let's do this. I want
Yeah.
to let me think about this next segment. I want to really highlight more about you and the steps you took to get there. And one question I like to start off with is, because sometimes people who go from high school to college, some of the students, they think that, as soon as I graduate or go from uni, like, I'm supposed to get that really good first job because now I got all the degrees and everything. And sometimes it doesn't work that way, right? Um, sometimes you have to pay your
Mm.
dues to get the experience and then move up. But I like to show the progression of, from the first job you ever had to where you're at now. So I always ask this question to folks: what was your first job?
Mm. My first job, okay, so in the uni, I did a lot of, jobs like, side hustle, I would say, like cashier, working at fast food, like different stuff just to pay my bills. But once I graduated, my first job was actually more of an internship. I was paid 1,800 per month to work there. For me, it was amazing because I didn't have, at that point, I was just out of uni. I didn't have any confidence in my skill set, and it was an internship. So I did that, and then I had a promotion, got to 2,500, was amazing still. And then, but I was like, you know what, this is not enough. I need more. And for me, I was growing up, I was like, you know what, if I make 3,000 per month, I'm going to be set, because that's what I saw people around me making. So for me, that was the goal. And so when I got to 2,500, I was like, you know what, this is not enough. I need to earn more. I need to make more money because I had those goals, and a lifestyle which I was going after, right? And I knew back then that the only way for me to earn more was by being better at what I was doing. So learning different skill
Hmm.
set, changing potentially career, and going to a different field. So I initially started as a credit analyst. So I was working in the financial department, the finance department, and I was like, you know what, which career is going to allow me to earn double of what I'm currently earning, and which skill set do I need to get into that next career. So I was like, okay, if I become a data scientist, I'm going to be able to ask for more money because of just this my skill set. So I
Hmm.
started taking some online certification, some just working on my skill set, taking on different projects at work that will allow me to work on those, to sharpen those skills that I was learning online. And within 1 year, I got to I changed company, of course, and I got that promotion and started making 6 figure a year, and I was like, this is so dope, yeah. And it paid off, yeah. Super happy. And but then when I was there again, the reason why I shift from the corporate world to the entrepreneurship is because just the hours. The hours were just really was almost a managerial position, which it required me to be at the office anywhere from 8 to 9 p.m., 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. So it was really intense. And I just feel like, I'm a family driven person. So, and I'm also very ambitious. And I would be at the office with my job, with my boss. And I was like, man, I would see him be there at 11 p.m. or at 10 p.m. I was like, I don't want to live this type of lifestyle where I'm in the office until 8, 9 on a consistent basis, because it's not going to allow me to have a family on it. So that's why I actually became entrepreneur, because I wanted something that would allow me to earn money while being able to control my time. And but I think if someone is when you start working out of uni, you need to be humble in terms of how you what you ask the marketplace, and be sure that the more you work on your skills, the more you're going to be able to charge. And just because you start with a relatively low salary doesn't mean that you won't be able to charge more afterwards. So for me, I remember when I was going from the 2,500 to the 6 figure position, all my friends were like, that's not possible to ask for 6 figure. No one, we are not, none of us has done that. Just be a bit more realistic. But I was like, no, I have the skill set I have. I've been working on this thing. I've been working on those skill set for the past year. So I'm going to ask for what I think I deserve. So I think they say you need to strike the right balance between being confident in yourself when it comes to actually asking for more, when negotiating your salary, but also be like, you know what, as long as I have the skill set, I'm going to be able to negotiate any salary that I want. So focus on working on the skill set first, because that's going to allow you to open pretty much any door, because companies are always going to be willing to hire and paid, expensive salary to people that have the skill set that can move the company forward. So
true.
yeah.
So true.
So invest in yourself and just being able to
investing in yourself is
to pivot if needed to get where you want to be. Yeah.
Investing in yourself is so important, because the more that you level up in your skills and the value that you can bring to the marketplace, you'll be rewarded. Companies pay for the value that you bring to the marketplace, for your ability to solve problems. So if you can solve a problem, a unique problem that I have, and you have the right tools and skill sets to do that, I'm going to pay you to solve that problem, because nobody else that means I'm going to have to try to figure it out myself. But if you already have it, then the solution and the skill sets to help me solve my problem, I'd rather pay you to do it, to save me time and money, because your knowledge is going to save me time and money at the end of the day. Now let's talk about the steps that you kind of took to build your career and business. What would you say were the important steps that you took to build your entrepreneurship career in marketing and build your business? What were the steps that you took that were most important?
Okay. I think there were 3 steps that make the biggest difference. The biggest difference. The first one is just deciding on which value I was going to bring and which problem I was going to solve. Because when you the tricky thing when you go from being in the corporate world to having a business, like there are so many options that you can tap into, right? There's so many business models that you can decide to dive into. So really deciding, okay, what do I want to be known for? Which skill set do I want to be the best at in the world? And which industry do I want to position myself in to serve at the highest level? That was the first choice, or the first decision I had to make. And then I had to invest and be like, okay, which skills do I need, and who do I want to learn from? Because I believe that who you learn from is even more important than what you learn. And learning from the right person can literally help you convert the decades into months, because you are able to soak in so much information and learn the best practices from the best. So just tapping into a network of people of someone that had the what in terms of knowledge and skill set and expertise that I needed, and learn from him, really allowed me to move faster. And then the third one was really just my mindset, just being like, now I have the skill set, I know what to do, I know what not to do, I know who I'm going to serve. Just let me every day make sure that I have the right mindset, and I just take decision that's going to move me closer, take those $1 million decisions which are going to move me forwards, and not second guess myself, not have that that scarcity mindset, or that those
Mm-hmm.
fear of failure, cripple me and stop me from moving forward. So
Mm-hmm.
those three things, like my choosing what I'm going to do, what I'm going to be known for, who to learn from, and also working on my mindset, were the three main steps which I had to take to really succeed and in business. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Love that. Um,
What
what's
you
one
said.
good lesson that life has taught you?
Life has taught me that this, no matter how bad it seems, you can always bounce back. I think,
Mm,
yeah, because sometimes you are in a very dark place where you feel like everything is crushing around you. There's no hope, and like you don't know how you're going to pay your bills. Like you've lost your job, like you've lost the relationship, you've lost the business, and I've just learned that no matter how dark it may seem, there's always something that you can pull out of it,
mm-hmm.
and like, and sometimes when you feel like you are broken, there's always something that you can give to somebody
Mm-hmm.
else, because even in your brokenness, you still have value, but you just don't see it. So in those times, being willing to serve has been, just being able to serve even though you feel like you
Mm-hmm.
don't have anything to give, and knowing that no matter how dark it seems, you are going to bounce back and you're going to come out of it stronger than you were before. That was the biggest thing, because
Mm-hmm.
it's as an entrepreneur, it's not, especially because when I shifted from corporate world to entrepreneurship, of course, my salary initially decreased. I went from making 6 figures to making less than 6 figures, like way less.
Mm-hmm.
And for the first few months, you don't have clients. You're like, is this thing going to work? You have all those fears, like, should I
Mm-hmm.
go back to the corporate job? Is this thing the right thing?
Mm-hmm.
And so it can be really scary to be like, okay, how am I? Is this thing? Am I wrong? And just feel like, okay, as long as I'm serving, as long as I'm showing up consistently,
Mm-hmm.
this, and as long as I believe in myself, I'm going to make this work. And no matter how dark things might seem, might feel, as long as I just keep on moving forward, I'm going to get out of this rut.
Yeah.
So that, for me, that was the biggest things that I've learned so far from life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
So,
Yeah, and you never know what opportunities come from that, not just financially, but just the ability to grow, and to create
yeah.
impact. So thank you for sharing that with us. Um, what's some advice that you
So,
would give to someone who started a career in a totally different career field? Because I know you're going to inspire some people, and they're like, you know what? I've always been thinking about marketing. I want to go into marketing now. What's some advice you would give to somebody who's going into marketing, specifically somebody who's went down one career path and now they're making a totally complete pivot and to do what you're doing, like kind of like what you did? What's some advice you would give to somebody like that who's just making a complete shift, and they this interview today confirms to them that like this is the path that they want to go down because they've heard everything that you had to say? And um, what's some advice you would give to somebody who's making that pivot and transition?
I will tell them that if they feel like they can do it, they probably can. I feel like we only have dreams and aspirations because we can actually fulfill them. And so just sometimes you have that dream and you're like, am I actually worth it? Am I actually capable of making it happen? And I feel like as soon as you have that thing, especially because you can actually make it happen. So the first thing is actually be like, I feel like I'm not satisfied at my corporate job. I feel like I can do so much more. I want to earn more. I want to give more. So let's explore, because the worst thing that can happen is just getting in a place where you're wondering what if, like it's the worst thing to be like, what if I had tried? What if I have done, what if I had done something different? So just be willing to try. It's not going to be a smooth path. You're going to have challenges. You're going to have setback, probably because nothing that's worth happening, not on what having has been done without any sacrifices or without any failure. It's just feedback to help you move forward. So just be mentally prepared, and I'll just say go for it, because entrepreneurship ultimately for me it's the best path to self-discovery and to
Hmm.
personal development, because when you become an entrepreneur, it allows you to uncover part of yourself that you were not even aware of. It just highlights some insecurities, and it allows it forces you to learn some skill set and just to become the best version of yourself or overall. So I think it's worth the journey. It's worth 100%. So just be clear, just get clear on what you're going to do and just go for it. Like and what you choose to do, you're not married to what you choose to do. Like you can always change. Like for me, for instance, I did affiliate marketing for a while, then I did some I was a freelancer before having the agency, and so I do consulting as
Mhm.
well. So what you start with, so you don't gonna have the right answer right off the bat, and some people usually want to have the right business model or the right strategy or the right thing. Just go with the first thing that comes to your mind that seems like doable and achievable based on where you are in the journey. And as you move forward, you're going to have some more insight. You're going to see what you like, what you don't like, and based on that, you can really sharpen your skill set and your niche and or your expertise, and be a bit more focused. But if you're transitioning, your feelings are valid. You have everything that you need to succeed. I think we live in an era where it hasn't been easier to start a business, be visible
Mhm.
online, get those clients. So it's just a matter of putting in that sweat equity and
Mhm.
being willing to put in the hours and to become great at your craft, because it's nothing worth having was had easily. So you need to be willing to sacrifice,
Mhm.
especially if you have a corporate job. Like you're gonna need to work either early in the morning or late at night. Some people are not willing to do so, but if the vision is clear of why you are doing what you're doing, it's going to be easy to pay the price to get there. So I like to say, start with a vision that's compelling enough, that's going to push you to be outside of your comfort zone for a long period of time, even if it feels like nothing is happening, because you are not toward what goal you are working. So that would be my advice for someone that's looking to transition. Yeah.
Right. So, and then on the opposite end of that, what would you say? Like, say if it's a student that's just getting into uni and they hear your interview, that's like, man, I want to be in marketing just like Joly. Uh, what's some advice you would give to them? What should they do to take their first step of going towards that marketing career?
I would advise them to start reading books. To be honest, I think books are the biggest shortcut
Mhm.
when it comes to in any fields when it comes to mastery. So I would advise them to work on two skills, primarily copywriting and closing, because those two things can literally allow you not only to persuade. Closing is going to allow you to learn how to persuade, negotiate, and influence, which is huge if you want to sell your services.
Mhm.
And copywriting is going. If you are in marketing, copywriting is one of the biggest skills that you can potentially learn,
Mm.
because ads are great, but if you're not a good copywriter, your ads are not going to perform. So copywriting and closing are the two first skills that I will advise them to learn via books, via courses, if they
Mhm.
if they can invest, which I would advise them to do, and just start taking some gigs here and there, just to learn,
Mhm.
even if it's mean working with your own business or your friend's business, just to get, because you can read as many books as you want, but until you have that real world experience, you are not going to be fully confident in yourself.
Mhm.
So as you learn, also try to apply and practice, and you're just going to grow in confidence, grow in skill set, and start creating content, start positioning yourself out there, because we live in a day and age where if you have a business and you're not visible online, you are missing out on a lot of
Mm.
opportunities. So I would just say, start creating content to share your journey, share what you're learning, and you're going to draw to you people that are going to be,
Mhm.
that want to follow you through the journey, and see how far you go. So skill sets, real life experience, and then content creation are the three things I would advise them to do to put them in the best place to succeed on the long run. Yeah.
Nice. I love that. Um,
Yeah, for someone that's studying from scratch.
when you think about marketing and the future of marketing, what does the future look like to you, or what does the future have in store for this industry? When you look at marketing, the marketing industry, and especially when it comes to blacks and Africans all across the globe, like what does the future look like in the marketing space?
That's an interesting question. I think for the future, in terms of when it comes to marketing, I think we're going to see a lot of automation coming into play.
Hmm.
So that's why you need to be really, when it comes to, if you want to work in the marketing field, it really has to you need to be either really creative or really be able to add some insight which cannot be done in an automated fashion, because we already see some tools that are automating, whether that's the lead scraping, whether that's the copywriting, even like the transcription. So there are so many things that are already been automated.
Hmm.
So what in order to really differentiate yourself, you need to be able to add something to the place that cannot be automated, and you need to also be willing to learn those different, like like for instance, I'm sure that 5 to 10 years from now we'll be marketing in the metaverse.
Mhm.
So be willing also to adapt and just sharpen your skills that things evolve is key, because the only constant is
Mhm.
change, and that also applies for in the marketing field. So I think we're going to see a lot more AI, VR that are going to step in, and we need to be able to reach client, have a messaging, have creatives that are designed for those platforms specifically, and have skill set that cannot be automated. So skills that really require either a high level of creativity, or even having been able to give some insight, or having some perspective in how things need to be done that cannot be done by a robot,
Nice.
because all the other stuff are going to be fully automated. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Um, let's end off like this, because you gave us so much valuable knowledge, and I thank you for that. And I want people to know
Oh, it was a pleasure.
where they can find you, where they can connect with you. So let's end off like this. What projects are you currently working on, and where can people find you?
Okay. Well, I mean, first of all, it was a pleasure being here, Taryell. Thank you so much for inviting me. It was had a lot of fun. So in terms of projects, what I'm currently building an online academy which is designed to serve, the minority, and teach them the marketing skills. So people that either whether they want to become a copywriter, launch the agency, become a media buyer. So I'm working on that academy, because I think it's literally what I wish I had when I started 4 years ago. So I'm just yeah, so that's my way of giving back. So that's something which I'm looking to launch by in the next 30 days, so before the year ends.
Mhm.
So yeah, and where people can find me on IG, I think IG is the best place to connect with me, because that's where I'm the most active, at Joly Tematio. Just
Mhm.
so that's where you can find me on Instagram.
Nice. And we would
Yeah, and
definitely,
also, of course, I'm also on YouTube at the same handle. Yeah,
so make sure you follow on YouTube.
either
And
Facebook.
when you're ready to launch that course, let us know. We want to, share it with our audience as well, and see how we can best help you promote it as well. So everybody who's
Oh, thank
listening,
you.
don't worry. I'm gonna get all her information. I'm gonna put it in the show notes, and I'm gonna work with her to make sure that I get this course, because I think a lot of you have been asking for it, and I want you to have it. So thank you, Joly, for making something like this for us, and for the many
Oh,
different
thank you so
individuals
much,
that are
Tahel.
just been searching for it, and now we have it. Thanks to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Man.
Thanks a lot. It was so much fun chatting with you.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
has definitely been fun. We definitely got to do it again. And thank you for sharing your journey, your story, and everything with us. Any last words of wisdom for the people before we leave our show today?
I'll just say, go after your dream, believe in yourself, and just believe in yourself, and do it scared. You're going to be afraid, but just do it scared. And whether that's transitioning from your corporate job to do something completely different, whether that's just being a union, starting a side hustle, or whether that's just going for the next client, just go after it, because it's better to just try and fail forward and get better than just regret and be like, what if I had tried something? What would have been the outcome if I had gone for it? So just believe in yourself and go for it. That would be my
Believe in
my
yourself, go
last
for
word.
it, and
Yeah.
do it scared. So I couldn't say it any better. Thank you
Yeah.
again. And this has been another episode of Rise Urban Nation. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't wait for this episode to drop in the new year, to give you more motivation, encouragement, and great marketing tools to get you to the dream and the goals